Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the video of software engineering terms. Today I will briefly describe some of the engineering terms that we need to know in throughout our courses or also in our professional life when we need to work with different software companies or need to work with different software projects. We always need to know about all these terms briefly because it needs many times in our day-to-day programs or day-to-day projects. So something that's why I really wanted to describe about it today. And before that, I like to introduce myself. I'm Naima Firdouspia, and this is my ongoing homework assignment given us by our honorable faculty. So yeah, and I like to apologize to everyone today because today my voice is a little bit broken. So yeah, I will not be able to talk so loud, but still I will try my best to do it as long as I could. So yeah, let's move on to the tutorial. At first, I like to discuss about what is the web services. So as we know many things about it, but the web service is it can be said it's the web service is a framework for a conversation of between two computers. These computers are communicating over the web and client like send request over internet, and the server receives the request, process it, and returns a response when the browser makes a request for the web page. It receives HTML and other related response, but when it asks for the data, it uses JavaScript and other client code to process the response. The web services has been used. Web service typically a very strict requirement for users that are documented for developer. Modern web service communication are nearly always handed over by HTTP, the hypertext protocol, but the format of the message being sent and received can differ greatly when we need to use the web services. We need to know about the interfaces, which is the API. For some critical things, you need to know about first what is the message format for some web service. Use the SOAP, the particular HTML format that uses the HTML markup, and still some other use JSON, the JavaScript object notation, and how you form a request site differently. What is the required syntax the service requests to? You make response with named method using syntax, and then similarly to the client programming, or you use a uniform resource identifier, which is URE, that are sent the HTTP request. What are the names and data types potential values, the parameter that you send as a part of request. Other than that, you will need to know about the API documentation of our action of the web service associated with the HTTP verbs. So yeah, let's now I want to talk about which is our now I want to talk about the web service more descriptively, as it has in our description in our screens. So yeah, let's work with it. So here we can see that the web service is a service offered by an electronic device to another electronic device. As I said before, that it's work as a framework between for communicating between two computers. So web service is communicate with each other via the world wide web, which is the www, and the web technologies such as HTTP, originally designed for human to machine communication, is utilized for machine to machine communication, more specifically for transferring machine readable file formats such as HTML and JSON. I talked about it before. And in practice, the web service typically provides an object-oriented web-based interface to a database service, utilized for example by other web service or by the mobile application that provides a user interface to the end user. Another the common application offered to the end user may be the mashup, where the web service consumes several web services at the different machine and compiles a content into the one user services. Web service in any piece of software that makes itself available over the internet and uses the standardized XML messaging system. XML is used to encode all communication to the web service. For example, a client invokes a web service by sending a HTML message, then wait for the corresponding XML response. As the communication in the XML web service are not tied to any one operating system or programming language. Like that, the Java can talk to Perl and web application can talk to Unix or applications. Web service are self-contained, modular, distributed, dynamic application that can be described, published, located and invoked over the network to create products, process and supply chains. So this application can be local, distributed or web-based web services that are built in the top of open standards such as TCP, IP, HTTP, Java, HTML and XML. Web services are XML based information exchange system that use the internet for direct application to application interaction. It as you know before that it works for the communication between two applications interaction. So this system can include program, objects, message, documents and so on. So many more things also we can know about the web services, that it is a collection of open protocol and standard used for exchanging data between applications and system. Software applications written in various programming language and running on various platforms can use web services to exchange data over computer networks like the internet in the manner similar to the inter-process communication in the one computer. These are some of the main points of what is the web service is. So here we can see that the web service are application components. Web service communicate using open protocols. Web services are self-contained and self-describing. Web services can be discovered using UDDI. Web service can be used by other applications, and HTTP and XML are the basic for web service. Now let's talk about the interoperability about this web service. So for web services, interoperability has highest priority. When all major platforms could access the web using web browser, different platforms cannot interact. For this platform can work together, web applications are developed. Web applications are simply applications that runs into the web. They are built around the web browser standard and can be used by any browser and of any platform. So web services take the web application into the next level. By using web service, our application can publish its function or message to the rest of the world. Web service, because for the web service, as we know, web service as work as the wide web, which is the www. So using that syntax, our application can publish single messages through the world, and any word can see that that our message or our information by using that World Wide Web, WWWC. So web services are use XML to code and decode data, and the SOAP, it is the simple object access protocol. We'll knew about it. We'll get to know about it in our next tutorial. Web service are XML to code and decode data, and SOAP to transform it using open protocols. With web service, our accounting department's Win2K serving bill system can connect to our IT suppliers UNX server. So web services have two types of use. What kind of? Reusable application component. There are things application need very often, so why make this over and over again? Web services can offer application component like currency conversion, weather reports, and often language relation as services. I'm sorry, really sorry, because today I'm a little bit sick, and truly I want to say that it's my first tutorial, so I'm a little bit nervous, so sorry for everything. Okay, let's continue to our video. And then there is another uses of the web service, and it is to connect existing software. Web services can help to solve the interoperability problem by giving different application a way to link their data. With web services, you can exchange data between different application and different platform. Any application can have web service component. Web service can be created regardless of programming language. So components of web service. The basic web services platform is XML and HTTP. All the standard web service work using the following components. So these are the main components that web service work with. It is the SOAP, SOAP, Simple Object Access Protocol, then UDDI, Universal Description, Discovery and Integration, and also WSDL, Web Service Description Language. So how does this web service work? Web service enables communication among various applications by using open standards such as HTML, XML, WSDL, and SOAP. Web service takes help of XML to tag the data and SOAP to transfer data. Before going to an example of web services, I need to give a brief definition about what is the SOAP. So SOAP, which is originally Simple Object Access Protocol, is a protocol specification for exchanging structured information in the implementation of web service in computer network. Its purpose is to induce extendability, neutrality, and independence. It uses HTML information set for its message format and relies on application layer protocol, most oftenly Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is HTTP, and Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, SMTP, for message negotiation and transformation. SOAP allows process running on disparate operating systems such as Windows and Linux or any other operating system to communicate using extendable marked language, which is XML. Since web protocol like HTTP are installed and running on all operating systems, SOAP allows client to invoke web service and receive responses independent of language and platforms. So here we can see a picture of what is the SOAP works as. SOAP works from from client server to web server. First, for the SOAP, the first phrase is the serialize. From serialize, from the client protocol, from the client PC, the protocol object, it is sent the XML file as a SOAP messages. Then so it comes to the SOAP request. It goes to the phrase 2, which is the deserialize. It also sent as a HTML, and there is a SOAP message for it, and it goes to the web server where the XML web service object exists, and then comes after the work on. So the web server need to give back the result to the client process. So that time when the web server sends the message again, it then comes the phrase 3, which is the serialize again. It serialize all the messages by making a XML file, and then the SOAP response. After coming to the network, the SOAP response again, and then the SOAP goes to the phrase 4, and which it deserialize everything again, and then it goes to the client server. So now here comes software web service example I wanted to give. So now let's consider a simple account management and order processing system. Accounting personnel use a client application built with Virtual Basic and JSP, which is JavaScript, to create new accounts and enter new customer order. The process logic for this system is written in Java and resides on the Solaris machines, and which also interacts with the database to store information. So these are the steps to perform this operation as follows. The client program bundles the account registration information into the SOAP message, as I talked about it in this. What I can say that all this process will be similar to this graph. So the client program bundles account registration information into the SOAP message. Bundles into the SOAP messages. This SOAP message is sent to the web service. Sent to the web service as the body of HTTP post request. The web service unpacks the SOAP request and converts it into the command that the application can understand. So web service then make the SOAP request, which comes to him from the client server. They unpacks the SOAP request and then convert it to a command, make it to a command that the computer or I guess that the application will understand. The application processes the information as required. The application processes the information as required and responds with a new unique account number for that customer. Next, the web service packages that response into the other SOAP message, and which sends back to the client program in response and to its HTTP request. So really, as we seen into the previous graph, this flow chart, that whenever client sends something to the web server, it send it as a SOAP messages, and then the SOAP message SOAP request, and then it again deserialize, and then it goes to the web server. Then the web server again packages these responses of another SOAP message, and then send it back to the client program to respond to its HTTP request. So yeah, up to this I want to end the web service part. I will continue with many other terms in my next video. Thank you.